Definitely the self-confidence helps them. Group environment definitely helps, being able to be with big kids and little kids. The coaches here do a great job of having a set of rules and constantly reminding them. Same thing, whatever they apply here, go directly to home and from home to here. And now that I got him in the Nat Munchkin's class, I'm able to get my other 2 girls and the boy in. And we all get out there, all as a family, all 4 of us, and roll around on the mat and have fun.
So the next one that I'm going to show you, I call the rake because I'm just raking the foot over my leg. So we're here, I'm going to bump, and then I fall, but then from here, I'm on my side, I'm going to bring this foot over, so I'm over here, and I just rake his foot over my leg, which makes his knee light. You see the knee's off the ground, which allows my leg to come out. And then hook, I can block the neck, and I can escape.
All I need to do to get this foot to step is I'm going to turn to the side, hold. You guys see how he's taking that step? And all I need to do is get heavy. So I'm going to sink all my weight down and forward. See how Coach Kev is starting to get broken down? Now my hand comes off the arm, back to the ankle. I push and pull at the same time. And I can start my guard pass.
I had heard some incredible things about Lineage, and my husband was actually doing Jiu-Jitsu here as well, and I had read that it's very good for discipline. So for self-defense, you just don't know when your child's going to need it, and it's just a peace of mind. It's in such a controlled environment here, and that makes me feel good. And so he knows that he can't do his Jiu-Jitsu moves on his sister or on friends at school because he could really hurt them. But it is so nice to know that when we do come into a situation, hopefully we don't, that he will know how to protect himself and defend himself.
I got involved because I was looking, I'd retired, and I didn't want to be that guy that just sits around on the couch and, you know, eats Cheetos and watches TV. I'm a scuba diver, I want to stay active. This was a good way for me to stay active. That was my primary reason for starting here. To be absolutely honest with you, is the friendships that I've developed here. Mobility, the flexibility is really great, but what keeps me coming back is the guys that are here and the gals that are here. It's a really good atmosphere. It's family oriented, they're friendly, everybody says hello to each other. It's not a belt chase for everybody here. It's not a belt chase for me. I do it because I like it and I like the people that are here.
If I see his hands, if he touches me on my hips, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my chest and my belly down. So I'm gonna be here, so even if you try to do it now, he cannot. But if I feel this, I'm here, I'm gonna come under here to here, and I'm gonna break his neck. I'm gonna go this forward, just be ready to tap, I'm gonna squeeze, and his neck is gone. This is illegal in competitions, but if there's a street fight, I don't care if I'm fighting for my life. The other one, let me switch up with Kevin real quick, please. So in this case, if Kevin does get me in this kind of move, he's gonna go ahead and pop up. Take 2. He's gonna get the distance away and protect himself. You can't camp here is what I'm saying. He can't just slowly put his hands on my hips and go, hey, I'm gonna bump and basically get this escape. He's gonna come in quick and get the distance, and he's gonna protect himself.
It's really improved his self-confidence. He's more apt to listening to us and to rules. He knows how important those are. And I feel like he's really blossomed. He has so much respect for his coaches, and they really have done a phenomenal job on teaching him discipline. I would suggest it because it is very enjoyable for the kids. They do lots of fun games as well, so they make learning fun for the kids. There's a lot of camaraderie here. Just give it a try, and I feel very confident that your child will really enjoy it.
This one's a lot of fun to catch on people because it kind of freaks them out because you end up lifting their leg. I'm gonna bump, turn to my side, I ball, but instead of raking, this time I'm gonna take my instep, I'm gonna shovel underneath, and I lift his leg up. But it's weird, isn't it? Because you're leaning really far forward, and then I could either hook, I could even come out this way, depending on how far forward you take the guy.
Coaches here, very different levels, different types of experience, fathers as well. So being that they have a good understanding of what the art offers for them, especially in the self-discipline area. Self-confidence, definitely a big builder. being able to be more comfortable in their own skin and group environments.
So he puts his hooks in, he drives his hip forward and squeeze, get really tight. So it's really hard, you know, for me to trap and roll at this point. So one of the things Hustle will do, if somebody does, is he'll kick the leg out, and he can't stop me from bringing my leg up. And then from here, he'll push on the heel, and then from there, you can turn and start doing your escape. I can push this out, then I can go back into the rake or the shovel, okay? It's very simple. He hooks, I can pick a side, I'm gonna come in, jump down, trap, then I can turn and ball, I can go either which way. I'm here, I come up, I turn, I use my hand. Again, I'm already trying to protect my face, but again, I don't like this because it's dangerous. And a lot of times what I see people do is they'll touch the knee like this. And if you do that, you're gonna get your thumb ripped off. So if you do this method, use the base of the palm of your hand. Don't use your fingers. I'm here at the base. I'll push, get my leg out, and hook. If I do two hands, I'm here. I definitely don't like this method because my face is wide open. I'm here. I do this. He can punch me in the face. He can also squeeze my neck from here. All right, so what I want to do, and I tell people when you're learning, it's okay to just do this to get the movement down, but again, I want to use my elbow. So I'm gonna bump and then ball, so I'm here, and then I'm here. Look, I'm inside, I push, my leg comes out, I'm gonna hook to the side. I'm gonna wait till I see he wants to throw this punch. My feet are coming up, and what I do is as I see this come down, and I'm gonna go nice and slow, is I'm gonna bump my hip, which is gonna cause him to basically come back up. What he does is, he's gonna punch the ground and break his hand, break his wrist. You're pretty much gonna win the fight right there. So there's no way, and for him to punch me in the face or try to, if he does that, he's gonna face plant and lose some teeth or break his nose. Now, a jiu-jitsu player should never be like this to begin with. Now, what's really bad about this is he's doing what? He's basing off of me, okay? I am the foundation. So what he can't do is stop me from stretching my arms out. You can put as much weight, do whatever you want. He's not gonna be able to stop me from doing this move. So all I'm gonna do is stretch my arms out, and then I can choose a side. I'm gonna go this way. You can try to prevent it. It's not gonna happen. And even if he does, I can lift and bring it over from here to the side. I'm gonna give him a nice little hug, trap the ankle, and then I'm gonna take him this way. So you can try to stop it. He cannot. And then I'm here. Now the good thing is this is a bully situation. Can you get your arms free? I can start meat tenderizing his head with my elbow. I can smack the ear. I can punch him in the face, do whatever I want. Another little trick that you can do, just kind of like what we do with the Kimura, I can hip up, drop my hips, pull across. Grab the wrist, I switch, hips out, grab. Again, this leg, I'm gonna bring him forward. This leg kicks over, pressure. Now, if this is a fight, palms right to the ear. Most people don't know how to escape this. This is a really, really bad position. Now, one of my favorite submissions from here, I'm gonna slide my hand through. The way I learned this was to use your fist. I don't like this. I'm gonna use the blade here. So I grab the wrist and I'm turning my wrist blade into his neck here. I slide this in, blade on the neck here. So I'm gonna rotate my blades in, and then I'm gonna take my right hand to try to touch his left, or my left wrist, and I'm gonna bring it up. So I'm here and I come in. So what I'm doing is this, I turn and I'm doing a scissor motion. This one I really love to do on people that are being total jerks. Again, same thing. If I'm here, I'm going to be protecting punches or whatever. But if I catch his arm drag here, and this is also good for street fighting because I'm here. Can you punch me? He's not going to punch me. I'm here. I roll. I come up in the modified mount. I tuck the elbow in. Sometimes I have to police this arm in, but 9 times out of 10, it lands where I want. But I'm going to police this in. I'm going to drop my chest down, and I'm gonna push him forward. What I'm doing is I'm pushing his elbow into his sternum, and then I'm gonna sink my hooks in, and I'm gonna drive my weight into his back, down through his chest, into the sternum, into the ground. So again, I apologize, and if you need to see this with anyone in here, I'll gladly show it, okay? So I'm here, I'm gonna rotate, push, and then from here, I'm gonna sink my hips in, and then I'm here. Now the beauty is, I'm trying to keep the weight off of him. Can you get your arms out? He's stuck.
Super rewarding, right? Like the last takedown of the night in class right there was the move that I was showing, so it doesn't get any better than that. You know, seeing something that you just showed somebody 30 minutes earlier and they're applying it like in a real life situation is fantastic. Jiu-Jitsu, you're out there all by yourself. You don't have a team, you know, so the confidence that you gain by, you know, testing yourself under those conditions is invaluable in life.
Enjoy the experience. When you come in, don't be that tough guy. I did an earlier video where I call meatheads. Just come in and enjoy the experience. You're going to get beat up. Not beat up in the sense that somebody's going to hurt you, but you're going to lose a lot and for a long time. But it's okay, because you're going to eventually be able to do that to somebody else. And I always say your job, just learn, enjoy the process, have fun. And then as you get better, just remember when that new person comes through the door, how you felt. So help them out. So if I'm here, Kevin goes to do this move, especially on a high level person, as this comes across, you guys see what I have here? So I'm gonna use this hand and I'm gonna break this one free here in a minute. It's just a simple, just circle out. You can hold me as tight as you want. You got me? He can't hold this hand, I'm out. Okay, so this is pretty much a joke. But when I catch this, I'm gonna catch it with the blade of my wrist here. I come in and then I like to go palm to palm, grab my thumb, elbows are in nice and tight, and then from here, I'm not going to do it, of course, but I would just basically fall back on my back over my shoulder here. So I'm just going to slowly start to turn his ankle here. All right, but in reality, if we're going for this and we're competing or we're fighting, I'm going to grab this and I'm just going to drop back and I'm going to take his knee home with me. So on this one, I come up, arm across, I switch the grip, hug the back. From here, we drive forward, and I'm here. Now, because I've got friends in the stands and they're filming, I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm gonna watch my grip here. A lot of times I'll come in here, I'll grip this way. I'm gonna take this foot, I walk and around this side. Leg is light, I bring it over to the arm lock. Okay, so if you're looking for a highlight reel, this is it. Okay, it's not mean, but it looks pretty cool when you do it. So again, and this is a really good fundamentals one too, just to catching the arm bar from any kind of direction. So again, I'm gonna arm drag into the gift wrap. So 1, 2, 3, I roll. I'm up, gift wrap. I'm gonna switch my grip, hug in everything nice and tight. This allows me to take my right foot, I'm gonna walk it, point my knee out, elbow comes around the head. If I wanna be a jerk, sorry about this, I can push the head, push his face down on the mat, but I like Mateo, so I'm not gonna do that. This leg gets light, I bring it around, I'm just doing it slow so you can see. Come down, pinch the knees, then arm comes in from here, and I can get the arm lock right there.
I mean, really, the big thing was being involved in something and being active. We tried football, and it really wasn't his speed, so it was something that he could be active and work on some listening skills, particularly at this age. The guys have really helped him out. He actually, when he first started here, he was having behavioral problems. Here in the class, he's gone from his first stripe we had to take off because he wasn't behaving here, and now he had 2 stripes put back on, and he's been doing really well. Just won a couple matches at King of the Mat. He enjoys it, and it's really helped.
So I'll use this if people are stagnant, they're sitting back, they don't want to engage in anything, you're just kind of curling up. So you see my feet are crossed and my knees are kind of right in the side here. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to put my side in, I'm going to start raising my feet, start squeezing in here. And you can get the tap with that too. The other thing, if they're being really stagnant and I'm really being frustrated, they don't want to play anything, I'll throw their knee, pull my legs forward, and I'll hook underneath. And I'll grab under, so now I'll squeeze in as I push my legs out to get hurt. So this one you can get the tap, not everyone will tap from the first one, but they'll start moving and now we can kind of get to playing. But this is like if they have no intention of doing anything, stalling, I'll hold.
But Scott, his favorite thing used to be eating pasta and drinking Guinness. So Scott used to have this nice big belly. And I had him in guard one day, and he just goes, and my legs go, they pop open, and Scott just goes, yeah, he goes, use what God gave you. You know, and I was like, you jerk. But he didn't have to do crap to pass my guard other than just push his stomach out. So if you're having trouble past the guard, the moral of that story is eat more food. To me, what makes Jiu-Jitsu different, I've studied various arts from Kempo to Taekwondo, Muay Thai, Judo, Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, etc. I've competed against Kung Fu people, wrestlers, you name it. But what I really love about this style is, say if you're a child or you're taking a striking art, if I have a conflict with you, what are you going to do? You're going to want to punch me in the face, kick me in the head. In Jiu-Jitsu, we teach verbal skills first. I try to talk my way out of that situation. I try to keep the distance from trying to talk my way out of it. I'm going to go into a clinch. I'm going to take you to the ground. I'm going to continue to try to negotiate with you to ask, please, let's not do this. And then if you continue to try to fight me, then it's game over because our techniques are just that good. If you don't understand Jiu-Jitsu, don't train Jiu-Jitsu, you're not going to win.
What we're going to do is we're going to work off of a snap down, right? So I'm going to take this hand that I'm collar tying with right here on his neck, and I'm going to snap him down, and then when he reacts and raises back up, I'm going to change my level down. I'm going to drive forward onto my knee for my double leg. I'm going to step up, and I'm going to cut like a 90-degree angle.
Who here's heard of Mark Coleman? Just a couple people. I'm old. All right, so Mark was famous for the ground and pound that came into MMA. One hell of an athlete, but Kevin, can I borrow you, sir? So he would get in somebody's guard, he just didn't care, and he would just start smashing people. So I always call them dirty wrestlers. So if they're watching, how you doing? So one technique, and this used to happen a lot, especially in no-gi, is if people didn't know how to pass a guard, and when we're just doing jiu-jitsu, he can't punch me, but what's he going to try to do? He's going to try to stack, he's going to try to put a lot of pressure, and they usually try to put their forearm right in your throat. So Kevin's going to come in, forearm, he's going to come up with a chest, he's just going to try it very uncomfortable. So as you do this, turn your head to the side so he doesn't crush your windpipe, but I'm going to just use an old technique called the V. I'm going to open my guard, I'm going to V and push. So I'm basically, hips are up, legs are locked out. Go ahead and put pressure. It's like, look, mom, no hands. I'm not doing anything other than leg pressure here. Now what this does, so come on back down real quick. So what I'll do is I'll time this. So as he comes up and does this, as I push his arm across. So I'm hitting his elbow across, and then I'm gonna release my legs, letting him fall into the trap. So this hand shoots straight up, I wrap, go to my bicep, and I'm going to go to his forehead, and I'm going to crunch my elbows together. But I like to say that the guys on Mexican supplements. And he's just like, hell no, and he punches out of this. So he pushes on my neck. I've got my good base. I go forward. I shoot for the Americana, he punches out. Now when he punches out, I want to follow, but I don't want to follow to where, again, remember earlier we called the log roll? I don't want to be on top of him. I want my knees here. He's got really, really long arms. Most times I'm at the wrist on a normal person. I want the top of my wrist at his elbow or just a little bit behind. And what I'm going to do, this motion is I'm doing this. I'm pushing down as I push up. And the biggest mistake I see with this is everybody see his wrist, is people they're here, they punch out, and they're here. Where's his wrist right now, his hand? Can you guys tell me? The thumb up, but where's his hand? What's his hand touching? The ground. Can I submit him here? If I start to squeeze, nothing. So the big mistake, see how my elbows are winged out? I want to bring them in. See now where his wrist is? I've got plenty of room. So now I can push down, push up, get to submission. So if you're here and you're pushing and pushing and pushing, check your elbows. So when I do this, when I follow, I shoots out, I'm here, okay? So I trap the arm. Can you pull your arm back? It's stuck. So now I just push down, get the submission there, okay?
Probably one of the best decisions that I've made for my son. He really enjoys it. It's a great atmosphere for the kids to learn. It's a sport that they can kind of take on at their own pace. There's not really like a whole lot of expectation. They all kind of go at their own pace, and the instructors are great at, you know, making sure kids are matched up with, you know, peers that help them out, but then also they have people to push them as well. So they don't like lose that confidence if they don't get it right away, and they stick with it. And when they kind of see this stuff paying off, they get more excited to come and really enjoy it.
He bugs my neck. I go ahead and I push out. I go for this. He punches out. I go for this arm lock. Now watch. What he does now, he's going to turn his thumb down to the ground. So now I've lost my arm lock. So what I do now is I'm going to slide in. I like to bite my shoulder. So I'm biting his arm past the elbow. I've still got my base here so he can't roll me. I like to roll him up, and then see how I switch the grip? I'm biting again. Can you pull your arm out? And then I go to the wrist. I drop my elbow to the ground. My hips here are gonna switch. So my hip hits the ground, this elbow's on the ground. I go over the head. Now from here, you can just push the wrist back. But to make this really mean is I'm gonna drive my elbow down into his shoulder and then push the wrist, okay? So I'm isolating the shoulder before I get the break.
I got into Jiu-Jitsu really for my kids. They had started this. I saw them work at it each and every day. So I took it up to challenge myself to kind of work this with them. So it's an opportunity to bond and share the love for Jiu-Jitsu as a family. It's a confidence builder, but at the same time, I just noticed how much conditioning they get from this. Just the ability to kind of coerce with all these other students here and really develop their social skills, really follow the lead that the instructors have here at BJJ Lineage.
All right, so this is an Americana, but I'm doing it with my legs. I may want to scoot, and I get it, and I'm able to figure four here. If you've got a long reach, don't ever do this. If we're here, and you might just swing your legs, turn aside, pull the elbow to the ground. So boom, guys will do this move. Okay, see where his elbow is? Sometimes I'll bait people for this. So if I'm in here and I'm holding tight and I want him to get his elbow to the ground, sometimes I'll move my knee on purpose. So I'll be like this, I'll just slide this thing out. So if you are rolling with me and you feel this, know that it's a setup. Because now, look, get your elbow to the ground there. He can't get his elbow through my leg. But if I move this out and I don't fight this, get your elbow to the ground, boom, elbow goes down. Now, the elbow goes down, I'm here. Now, be very, very careful with this, because I personally have trouble releasing this. So when people tap on this, a lot of times I'll swim over and I'll catch both. I'll go snap, snap, all right? But from here, I'll just put the hand down. I'm just gonna lean forward this way, nice and slow. A little bit of flexibility here. But the key is you have to be able to let go when people tap with this one. This is a lifelong skill. Unlike, say, football, baseball, unless you make it to the pros or major leagues, your sport's pretty much over when you graduate high school or college. This is something you can do forever. The big thing I've seen too with families is a lot of parents will sit on the sidelines and they see the fun that their children are having, and then we invite them to try a class, and when they do, it's just like what happened to me, you just get hooked. I always say Jiu-Jitsu, it's just easy to fall in love with it. It's been said that coming in here and training jiu-jitsu is like meditating. Especially in my past career, I would do a 10, 12 or longer day and just stressed out. I'd hit the mats, but there's an hour to 2 hours where you can't think about the issues that you have outside of the academy because you have to focus on the now, especially when your training partner's trying to kill you. You feel really incredible too because throughout the day when you've got those stress responses where you're getting different chemicals dropped into your bloodstream, and when you come in here, it's stimulating just like if you were to run or fight for your life back in the old days. Bring it over, good arm lock. Get big, put weight on top, put weight on top. Make sure you lift your hips. So I'm here, as soon as I feel this leg go up, so you lift this leg up, I'm already up. So see how I'm up? And then I drop to my side. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna control the neck and everything. But the other thing, see my foot here? Get your foot out to his knee. I'm touching his calf, I'm out here. So only my instep is there. You're catching right here, which is actually makes them heavier. So if I go to lift him here, that's heavy. If I'm here, you go forward, it's much lighter. And then as I throw him over, see how my foot's here? And then look, it comes out here. Okay, so it doesn't get trapped.
Confidence, discipline, knowing his own capabilities and what he can achieve, you know, without any external help. Everything that they're learning, you know, is applicable in real life. It gives me confidence knowing that my son is out there with a skill set that he can handle himself in a situation that could go poorly if he didn't know what he knows.
That actually is exactly the case with my son Griffin. He both is hyper and tends to be a little bit shy in situations like this. He went from hanging out over in the corner over there and not being with the group to being in the middle of the group and making some good friends with some of his classmates and being involved and looking up to the coaches, and he's done very well.
I've kicked out instructors for not having good hygiene. It only takes one person to destroy an entire gym. The biggest thing with hygiene that people forget is they bring in their gym bag with their uniform, they train, and they throw that dirty uniform in that gym bag, take it home, clean the uniform, but they never clean the bag. I upped my game as far as I wouldn't train in a dirty place, I wouldn't train with dirty people, and then we have probably the strictest rules in Jiu-Jitsu as far as cleanliness, and then our procedures of actually cleaning the mats. I've talked to scientists, and I've come up with processes here that I don't think anybody can match it. But a lot of times, I'll bait somebody, but I'll pull their head down, so he's going to want to push up. I let him push up. I grab the wrist, and then I'm going to shoot it across his body. When I do this, I lock my arm out. I don't want my arm bent because then it's going to be who's stronger is going to win this. From here, I feed my other hand, so if you watch, my palm is up. I feed, this arm is locked out. I'm going to take this hand, come up, I'm going to grab his armpit, and I'm going to hug. So I want chest to chest or belly, whatever you've got. But this prevents him from getting that arm out. Can you pull the arm out? So I'm not doing anything, I'm not using any strength. Now from here, I'm gonna put my foot on the ground, I'm gonna pull him forward, this leg's gonna kick over, and I keep weight on him. So from this point, can you get your arm out? You cannot. Now, this is where the fun begins. I feed the wrist, I grab his wrist, I like to police the elbow, I'm gonna now bring this heel into his waist, slide my knee up to his head, and now the fun begins. If this is a street fight, God help him. Tonight I just want to start out with some variations of the basic scissor sweep. What I do is I like to get behind the neck. When I grab somebody's neck, I do not use my hands. I do not come in here and hook with my hand, my fingers. This is very weak. But when I grab his neck, what I'm doing is I'm using my wrist. I'm going to hook behind his head this way. So when I come up here, I hook. But if he sits up at this point, I've got a really strong grip, and this is how I like to hook the neck. So if I'm in here and I'm playing, you know, I'll start grabbing the wrist, I hook the neck, and then the first variation of the guard or the scissor sweep that I like to use is the foot is going to go on the ground here. I'm going to shrimp my hips out to the side, the back of my knee gets to the top of his knee. I'm then going to bring my knee across his belly this way, hooking his side with my foot. But then from here, for the sweep to actually occur, to get him to go over, I need to pull him forward. If I try this right now, because his weight's back, he's very heavy. So it's a lot of strength, a lot of pressure. So to lighten him up, I want to now pull him forward into me. And then I chop. My knee is going to go down to the mat at an angle. I'm not going to go straight across, I'm going to drop it at an angle. And then I'm going to go with him. So I'm here as I do this, and I'm up into mount.
I'm a lot more comfortable with him interacting with others right now. Just having some of this in his back pocket and just having the confidence. I definitely think it's worth a shot. Dylan was a little bit shy. He still is in some crowds, and he doesn't open up right away. And having the big warm-up circles at the beginning, they take turn having different kids counting and lead them. I think that's a great opportunity for kids to get more comfortable in front of kind of strangers they don't know too well. Be able to be loud, be heard in the right positive way.
He's going to think that I'm doing a scissor sweep, but again, I'll grab the wrist, I hook the head, I slide, I go high knee. But if I have the gi, I grab the collar and the sleeve, and I'm going to pull and push. But what I'm doing is, think of your knee as the tip of the spear, and I'm going to punch right through his heart. But I go to the sternum. So when I'm here, again, I've got the guard, I'm going to grab, hook, I slide, my knee goes right into his sternum. I'm going to pull him into my knee and drive my knee through and try to get the tap. If I can get this no gi, what's that? All right, sir. Put a gi down. It's been said that coming in here and training jiu-jitsu is like meditating, but if you think about it, I don't know how many times I would do a 10, 12 or longer day and just stressed out. I'd hit the mats, but there's an hour to 2 hours where you can't think about the issues that you have outside of the academy because you have to focus on the now, especially when your training partner's trying to submit you, they're trying to stretch your arm, but you feel really incredible too because throughout the day when you've got those stress responses, you're getting different chemicals dropped into your bloodstream, and when you come in here, it's stimulating just like if you were to run or fight for your life back in the old days. He's going to think that I'm doing a scissor sweep, but again, I'll grab the wrist, I hook the head, I slide, I go high knee. But if I have the gi, I grab the collar and the sleeve, and I'm going to pull and push. But what I'm doing is, think of your knee as the tip of the spear, and I'm going to punch right through his heart. But I go to the sternum. So when I'm here, again, I've got the guard, I'm I'm gonna grab, hook, I slide, my knee goes right into his sternum. I'm gonna pull him into my knee and drive my knee through and try to get the tap. If I can get this no-gi, I'm not gonna punch it out. What's that? All right, sir, put a gi towel.
I think it definitely helps. Obviously, he's more active, but then also it helps also getting him to bed at night. He gets his energy out here, which helps at home, so that he's not as rambunctious and a boy at home. He gets all that out here. He wants to be more active with his peers. I've seen a lot of benefits. I think mostly I've seen more benefits in his social skills with other children, as well as the biggest social skill that he has is the ones that he has now with adults. He's a lot more well-spoken and a lot more respected and gives better eye contact and things of that nature.
In judo, jiu-jitsu, catch wrestling, if we're working no-gi, what I like to do is I'll hook above the elbow, pin my elbow down to pinch his wrist, and then I'll swim inside to block the bicep to prevent punches. The other thing that I see a lot of, see my knee is pointed just a little bit, I like to put my other knee under his shoulder, and then I curl as many toes down as possible. If you got the flexibility, your heel should be straight up. The thing that, biggest pet peeves I have in this position, you'll see high-level black belts doing this. This is lazy and this is wrong. So again, no gi, fight, I hook here. If this is a gi competition, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the seam of his gi where it's sewn together. I'm grabbing with my fingers here, my thumb down, I'm gonna reach in and I'm just gonna wrap and pull. So I come in here, I pull back and I wrap, and then I like to go 4 fingers in or my hand on the shoulder. Knee is pointed a little bit, toes are down. I'm gonna pull and then I'm gonna lift my hips off the ground about this much. That soft spot, and then how you feeling now?
Getting a little heavy.
Yeah, so then I just start massaging my ribs, and depending on what side you're on, you're either massaging his liver or his spleen. And then he's gonna get exhausted.
Mono world, it's huge. It helps with other facets in life. This is obviously a very difficult sport to take on, but each and every day they prove that with hard work and dedication they can continue to put in a lot of their hard work. And this is a very tough sport. They're very able to do it. Very proud of what these kids are able to accomplish. Yeah, Lineage BJJ, they offer different trials. Definitely take that for an offer. That's what I did. I love the format. Again, I love the instruction that the coaches have here. Just their classroom style, their ability to manage a lot of these kids and teach them along the way. It's been definitely short and impressive.
I had a background in wrestling. Daniel
He's very similar to me. He's aggressive and he's flexible and he's progressed. He's now a gray and white belt. He's entered 2 tournaments. The first tournament that he entered was more just for exposure, but the second one was competitive and he took home 3rd place. He's been seeing, I guess, the fruits of his labor for the past year. He's been more confident, he's gotten stronger, and we're looking to do his next competition in December.
Once I get here, I'm gonna flare my knee open. You see how Mateo's already kind of falling, right? So I'm in this lasso. I hop myself to the side. I stomp to the ground. Mateo falls over. So here, I flare. I hop to the side. I stomp down hard. He goes. Up, over. Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Hallie.
So he pushes on my neck, I've got my good base, I go forward, I shoot for the Americana, he punches out. Now when he punches out, I want to follow, but I don't want to follow to where, again, remember earlier we called the log roll? I don't want to be on top of him. I want my knees here. He's got really, really long arms. Most times I'm at the wrist on a normal person. I want the top of my wrist at his elbow or just a little bit behind. And what I'm going to do, this motion is I'm doing this, I'm pushing down as I push up. And the biggest mistake I see with this is everybody see his wrist, is people they're here, they punch out, and they're here. Can I submit him here? If I start to squeeze, nothing. So the big mistake, see how my elbows are winged out? I want to bring them in. See now where his wrist is? I've got plenty of room. So now I can push down, push up, get the submission. When he wraps, I hook. When I do this hook, I want to dive forward. So I always say, imagine the bowling ball or kettlebell, I can hold it forever here. But if I take a 20-pound, bowling ball or kettlebell, whatever, I hold it out here, I'm not gonna hold it for very long. So what I'm doing is I'm diving my head out to get away from his body to get very heavy, okay? So he wraps, if he were to lift me, I hook, I dive out, I want both hands on the ground. The mistake I see of this is people will come in 2 hands. If you do that, you can get your face or your head driven into the ground. So I always want to keep one hand on the ground, arm locked out. Do not bend it, because then it's muscle versus bone. I want the bone in line. So if he pushes, tries to drive me forward, I'm not going anywhere. Second hand without a thumb is going to hook behind his heel. I'm going to use my tailbone to push him back. Once he pushes back, I step to the side. If I'm here, he can kick me and push me off, and then I lose the leg. So when I get this, I want to step here. If he kicks me, he's going to break his own leg. Now what I like to do, this is just my preference, is I'm going to hook his leg with the inside of my elbow. I'm going to turn my shoulders to the right as I drive my right knee to the floor. So I'm on his knee, and I come in here, and I'm going to start to turn, and I'm going to get the knee bar.
I got my son into Jiu-Jitsu just because I believe in just all kids should play some sort of sports. And my son was never really into the team sports, and so when we found this, he just fell in love with it. It's a competition, almost like a battle of wills, a battle of outsmarting his opponent. Yeah, I've always been a fan of combat sports and whatnot, and so when we found this, I was like, oh heck yeah, let's do it, and he just fell in love with it.
Hip, hip, hop up. Hold collar, put your knee. That pressure alone, his hand's right there. This window, too easy. Elbow slides in, knee slides. I'm cheating upwards towards the pit. In the saw, push the head, step in line with his back. Turn, drag. All right? You guys should know the far side arm bars. I want you to finish with that for now. Is there any questions on this? Side control, knee on belt. You should put a little bit of pressure. Okay. 3, 1, 2, 3.
was out of shape, and I thought that this would be like a good way to get my body moving, exercising regularly without, you know, the usual hitting the gym. It's been really fun. I've been coming pretty consistently for the past year, and I had no prior experience with it. I've always been interested in wanting to do Jiu-Jitsu, and I just Googled the closest one, and that was here, so I was like, oh sweet, and I just showed up for like the 2-week trial, and then been coming ever since.
Half guards, you'll see people with their legs out. I don't like this because my hips are dead. You'll see people locking up here. Don't do that, you're gonna get leg lock. The correct way of doing the half guard, and I have my feet on the inside. But when I'm here, I like to come in and block here. All right, now what I wanna do is the inside leg in the middle, this instep's gonna go to his instep, and then my left instep is gonna go towards my Achilles, my ankle, and from here I stretch him out. Now I'm gonna let him come back up, and where this comes into play a lot of times too, if Kevin's sitting straight up, I can get him to collapse using this method. So if I'm here and I start to stretch this out, he's gonna drop down. So you better either protect your face or prepare like I did, where I'm hugging the neck and I trap the arm so I don't get punched. Again, so I just drive here, take the arms, done. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm grabbing my wrist, and I'm gonna drive my wrist into his lower ribs. And the key to this is part of what Hickson calls his invisible jiu-jitsu and the connection. So I'm driving through this foot and this leg, and then I wanna make chest contact to his back. So when I'm here, he's got this wrap, and he could try to squeeze on my head or do whatever, but again, I'm turned to the side. He can't stop me from turning. If I lay flat, this is what a lot of people, this sucks. I don't want this. So in jiu-jitsu, we prepare for whatever's coming, whether it be side mount, scarf hold, whatever. So I know this is coming, so boop, I'm here. I'm gonna use my leg, my chest, I make contact, I'm gonna drive him forward. So I'm here, I'm gonna push forward, and then I'm gonna take him over this way. So now that he's forward, and I don't go over my head, I go to the side. He's very light, I come up, and then this will be a whole nother class where I come in, break, take the arm.
I'm Charlie. I've been at this for about 2.5 years. I've practiced other martial arts in the past, and this is the one that seems most practical. You're always going to wind up on the ground. In fights I've been, you always wind up on the ground. At least this way you have a better chance of standing up or getting away. I feel a lot more confident using this than any other stuff that I've learned. Definitely flexibility with cardio, and it actually gives you the ability to think, you're like constantly solving the puzzle. Where if you take it out of here, you can apply that anywhere outside the mats here.
So this is what they call the dirty wrist lock, all right? And this is a mean way to get it. And again, it's based off of what they do, and I usually just do this for fun if I'm rolling and just playing. I don't ever go for this submission unless it presents itself. So again, I'm here, he pushes on the neck, I'm out. I go 1, he punches 2, I trap, come in, I'm going for the Kimura. I see that it's there, I come over. If I'm here, I end up getting it on, but it's better if I go here. Yeah. So try it. If you're here, not as good. You want to go to here, okay?
My name is Russell Lee. I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu for about 4 years now. Well, as I started getting older, I needed to find a combat sport that wasn't as part of my, brain getting hit in the face. I didn't want to get hit anymore. Jiu-Jitsu seemed to fulfill that role for me. I used to do American Kempo karate out on the West Coast back when I was in the military, so about 25 years ago. I like Jiu-Jitsu because it keeps me motivated to be on the mats because I'm training with my buddies, and when you get out here, you can't think about anything other than Jiu-Jitsu. So during the day, whatever stresses you have, you come here, you have no time to think about that because the guy's trying to kill you on the mats, and I appreciate that.
If somebody pulls you really, really tight and we're real close, what I want to do in this situation is I'm going to stand on my tippy toes, my palms are going to come into his hips, and then I'm going to walk back, push my butt back and get some space, and squeeze me in. And because my arms and the forearm bones are holding, he can't pull me in. From here, I'm going to keep the brace on him, I'm not going to release my hand. I go to the side, I lean a little bit, and then from here I'm going to step this foot in front, and my hip is going to knock my hand off at his hip, so my left hand is going to come off. As it comes off, I hook the arm. I'm gonna let this hand slide. My hip comes out, look down, I lift with my legs, and then I throw, and I'll finish with an arm lock. All right, so again, he wraps. So if we're real tight, palms come in, I stand on my tippy toes, I come out. If there's space immediately, I'll just put my arms in, keep my elbows tight, go to the side, I step forward, then from here, hip throw. It's easy to hurt him. I know he's older than I am. No, it's fine, I'm older than him. And from here, I can come in arm lock, or claw. We'll go for an arm lock.
Well, honestly, he is a lot more disciplined. It's easier for him to kind of get into focus, and he really pays attention well when people are talking to him. He loves it. He does really well, and we practice at home. The camaraderie of the kids is really good. He's gotten a lot of good knowledge from this place, obviously, and he's, I think, getting friends for life. I really love it. Honestly, all the coaches are really wonderful, and everyone's been really welcoming and very patient and understanding.
I want everything the same, where I'm going to set up, get my base, take my little step, my arms are up. I'm going to do the U around, but this time as I walk his feet together, see how I'm holding his arm here? I'm going to turn my palm up, and I'm going to reach and look up and try to smack him in the ear. What he's doing is he's falling over my leg. So I'm here, and I bring him down. So that was a little slow motion. One, I take a step, I circle around, but then from here, I'm going to open, and I'm going to toss him. He wraps, I get my base, I step forward, I come around from here, I throw him over, and then I get the arm, get to the side. So this is one of my favorite go-tos now. I've come up with a name for this, but this is an old man technique for me. When I'm here in this position, the lockdown, I stretch him out, so I'm here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my elbow to lift his arm. So I'm gonna come in here. As I lift this arm up, I shoot my other arm through here, and I wrap the neck. All right, so from here, can you get out of this? And I don't have my second hand in yet. When I come up here, when I do this, I immediately grab gable grip, blade into the neck, and then I'm gonna squeeze down and get the tap, okay? So that's my number one. This is my favorite technique off of this position. It usually happens really, really quick. So I'll shoot out the leg, I'm here, come in, boom, and then done. Yellow light, red light, good. Green light, red light, yellow light backwards. Yeah, get tricky. Yeah. Red light. Yellow light. Now, what I want to do is I need to get my knee off of the ground. So in order to do that, I'm going to lift my knee, and when I lift, I'm going to shake. All right, so you can go ahead and try to hold it. So I'm here, and I'll shake. Look, he's holding it tight. So if he does that, then I come back a little further, and then I'm out. If this doesn't work, then I go to the mule kick. So I'm here, head comes down. I want to scoot back so there's a bend in my knee. If I'm up here and I lift, you can hold tight, I'm not going to get my ankle free. So I need to bring it back. I'm going to lift, and I'm trying to pull my heel. So I shake it to get this loose. And you may have to do it 2 or 3 times. Once this is loose, I drop my heel down. From here, I want to bring my elbow in nice and tight. If I do this, his hand's going to come in, and he's going to sweep me this way. I'm going to go over. So I need my elbow to come in here. I push and straighten him out.
I was pretty small. I was like 130 pounds when I started, so I just wanted something to at least give me an equal playing field if I got into some trouble or something happened. A lot has made me look at like my diet a lot more, trying to get stronger a lot more, getting in the gym, all that other stuff. Mainly those differences. I've gained like 40 pounds since then too, so I've put on a lot of weight since I started. It has me thinking about a lot of different things as far as like just life. How you can put it like, oh, you have to consistently work at something. You can't stop. You have to consistently do it. Even if it's not a lot, even if it's just a little bit every day, you just have to work towards it.
started training when we were actually next door. We're sharing space with the ballet school over there. And then Jim opened this maybe 3.5 years ago. So I was here since the beginning of St. Mary's School down here. We have a good group of people. Our culture and climate here is very inviting. So if you're wanting to try jiu-jitsu and worried about the meathead aspect of a lot of these combat sports, it's more of a family type atmosphere. It's chill, and we're not trying to injure each other because we're all working professionals around here, you know what I mean?
This one, and then we'll do from the side. So in this one, what I want to do is I want to step back, get my base, so if he tries to drive me, push me, I've got good base, he's not going to move me. From here, I'm going to come around, basically chin strap him with this hand. The second hand is going to come in, palm, no fingers, and then if you ever ate the Pez dispenser candy, I'm going to open his head like a Pez dispenser as I push my hips back. So the harder he holds, the worse it is going to be for him. So I start to push the chin up as I push back, and then I slide back one step, and then here's where I can get into the self-defense.
He plays really tight, right? And you start getting here, you try working this out, and it's just not really working, right? How do you think we're going to get his arms to do what we want? Use my chest, right? You also run the risk of getting a little far over. Maybe it's just not working, right? What else can I do? I can use another part of my body. My knee, exactly. My knee drops. He's not going to stay here, right? I promise you, he's not going to stay here. I start putting pressure, his hands are going to move. You see how his hands move low here? Right? They move low, we have the one we set up here and start taking the back, right? Step and lift, right? Also, the hand comes low, you have your bar side arm bar, right? Slide, push, step, ball.